everyone, Jay here. Welcome to this week's Troubleshooting with Jay. I've enlisted the help of Miss Danielle and Miss Grace on the video today because I decided that a few of you, I've been doing the powder polish classes now for a couple of years, and a few of you are still having trouble with building structure with the powder polish. So I thought I'd just do a quick little video today to show you my techniques and what you need to do to build a bit of structure. So come on a little closer. So what I've done already with Danielle's nail, if you can see, can you see, Grace?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. So what I've done with Danielle's nail already is that I've just put a tip on and blended it. I've used the European stiletto tips, which is my favourite. They're super easy to blend. And we've pushed the cuticle back. I've scolded Danielle for, her dry cuticles, but, it's okay. All right, so step one, we're going to prep the nail and dehydrate the nail first. So we do that, and you can see as it sucks dry. I'm actually going to do the whole procedure of this nail building in French pink, just because it's, thought I'd tip it out everywhere, because it's my favourite colour, and I want you to see how pretty that is as well. So I'm getting my French pink ready, and I'm going to start with my base with step 2 and 4. And I am going to apply that. Be sure, especially at the moment in this kind of weather where in Melbourne and Australia where it's kind of cold, that you do make sure that you get enough product at those edges. And sometimes I will go back and double apply around the cuticle, around the side walls. I've been watching some girls lately, and they're kind of, by the time they're a bit slow in their application, and by the time they get to go, the cuticle and side walls are too dry and they don't grab enough product. And you need enough product. I think you need about 3 layers on the entire nail, especially up around the cuticle, in order to get good adhesion. So we're in the Arctic here in Melbourne, and even though we've got the heater on, the product performs differently in different weather. So I like to dust in between. Normally, if we were warm, I wouldn't bother dusting. So now I'm going to do my first coat of colour. I'm just doing it in clear. So I've got my layering gel. Remember, this is a thicker viscosity, and it's going to pick up a little bit more product, so you don't have to dip as many times. So I always, even if I'm building structure, I'm always going to do my base coat and then my first coat of layering on the entire nail. Then, depending on what I need to do, I need to look at this nail on the side view, and when we look at this nail, we can see that there's a low point here. We need to build structure in this part of the nail. Luckily, Danielle has really pretty natural side curves, and if this was my nail, it'd be going like that. So we need to build some arch in this location here at the stress point. So there's a couple of ways that you can do that. If you go about 2/3 of the nail and bring it forward, it does build structure. However, when you do that, every time you do a coat at the free edge, it gives you bulk at the free edge. And sometimes that doesn't even matter, because you can just knock it back with your file, because we want to build the structure and the intensity there. So it just depends on how much work you need to do. So I'll show you that technique first. This might end up being a bit thick, the nail, in the end, and we'll just might have to file it back a little bit more just so I can show you both techniques. So if there's not much to do, I am going to just grab here, start about 2/3 of the nail where I need my bulk, wipe off the excess, and then I just feather it back so that I don't end up having a really big fat line. Dip it in, tap it off, and now when you look from the side view, you can see that we've got plenty of arch in there. Can you see? Mm-hmm. So then if I was happy with that, I would just do one more coat, trap that, so then I've still got my 3 coats up at the cuticle. However, I'm just going to dip that one more time just because it's really cold and I want to do this for speed. Normally, obviously, it wouldn't matter because you would be doing all 10 nails, so you'd come back and it would be dry by the time, but because I'm doing this, TV time, I'm going to dust it as well. The other option is to build by doing a stripe. Now, when you do the stripe, I'm just going to do this on my nail. When you do the stripe, here's my glamorous nail, and we're going to go across the nail to build structure. You dip it in, but what can happen then is you get this sort of, I don't know, raised section, which we don't want. So I'll just rub that off. So what you need to do is what I did just before, and you apply the product across, wipe off the excess, and just feather the edges, feather the edges, feather the edges, dip in, and now we have structure. You can see quite a bit of structure, but without that humpty-doo. So that's what we want to try and do, and I shall do that with Danielle's nail just so that you can see. It might end up being a hunchback of Notre nail, but we'll manage okay. Okay, so this is an added step, and we're going to apply across the stress point, feather the edges, feather the edges. So you can see that when I do that, it doesn't change the free edge, and that's what we want. And you can build. See, it's got a lot more structure now, a lot more density to the structure, which is good. You need, a lot of girls are just coating the nails and not giving enough structure, and then they're cracking and breaking down there. So you still want a pretty nail. Just because it's powder polish, you still want a pretty nail. Okay, so then we're going to do our final coat again, all the way up to the cuticle. And dip, and dip, and dip, and dip, and dip, and tap. Okay, so there we go. Now, it's a little bumpier than what I would normally do. Now, if I'm doing, oh look, so hot, it's so cold in here. The dip doesn't love the cold. The glue doesn't love the cold. So anyway, so I can file on it again. Now, if I'm going to do a tip application, many of you who've taken my classes know that I'm concerned with pocket lifting, with colour application, with tips. I believe that you're better off to soak off and reapply, especially because you can do the soak off in 8 to 12 minutes, so it's super fast. It's no skin off your nose if you soak it off. However, if your client wants length and wants tips, I usually advise that you build the structure first and then go on and do the colour. So I want to file this out just to show you the finished product, but if I was, I could probably just do it. I think maybe I'll just do it. So from here now, my structure's perfect. Okay, it's going to be a little bit fat. If we look down the free edge, it is a little wider than I would like it to be. A little bit fatter than what I'd like it to be. And now when I'm going to put 2 coats of colour on it, it's going to be super fat. But, you you can find... How sexy is this colour? Just to let you know, it's 5615 silver with grey undertones, and this is the choice of colour for today. So you can choose at which point you're going to do your structure application. So with Danielle, I might have not done that. I might have done that first coat of colour, that last coat trapping the structure in with my colour coat. I like to just do complete colour coats, however, because I think you get more consistency in the colour. But how pretty is the pink just before I dip her? Oh, I love it. Okay, and dip. And dip. Oh, so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. Isn't that pretty? Oh my God. It's so sparkly. You could do that with even just black nails. Yeah, oh my God. Or an ombre with black and that.
That's the next video.
That is so gorgeous. Okay, so I'm taking time because obviously I'm doing all 10 before I apply my next coat. And look at the coolness of the Cuccio powders. Like, seriously, one dip is really good coverage. I just love it. You can't go wrong. Plus, we have the best price on the market, so you'll love that too. Plus, we're nice people. I'm sure everybody else is nice too, but, we give you cuddles. Okay. I went a little soon. I did that on purpose. So you can kind of see in here that there's I put a little bit too much product and I was a little bit too soon. It was a little bumpy. It's fine. We'll manage. Next, when I'll just hit that with the file and it'll be fine. But it's so pretty. I am a perfectionist. My name is Jay. Nice to meet you. I'm sure you're all perfectionists as well, because now this is quite a thick nail. Well, it's not hideous, but, it's certainly not. But I just prefer to do slimline nails that clients feel very natural and you can still scratch and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we're going to dust. The reason that I would dust in this particular point is because there is mica, and when you put the mica, the activator on the mica, it stains the skin. So now we're going to hit it with our top coat. So you can see that I'm a little bit bumpy. That's because I had a little too much product and I was trying to be a little bit too fast. But you know, this is a troubleshooting video, so you need to understand what things can go wrong. So yay, that's what can go wrong. And then we need to hit it with our activator. So what our activator does is we've done layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of glue. And if I want to file on this fast, there's no chance that chemically and weatherly that this could possibly be dry. So we need to use something else to boost its drying. So it's a catalyst to dry that, and you do not want to get the bristles involved. You just want to float it on the top. Some people do, you know, this technique. I don't know about that. I just like to over the top. And then, in a few mementos, we should be ready to file Mr. Nail's nail. And I'm obviously, oops, I don't have my Goldie block, which is all I need to file with. Here's one I've prepared. Oh no, that's not a new one. Let me just quickly find a new one. Hi everybody. The Goldie blocks are really great don't fall over, Miss J, for just filing the powder polish. And as nail technicians, we over file too much. I'm going to file with my handy dandy single-use Cuccio stainless steel file first, because this is a chunky nail, because now I've done, like, you know, too many layers. But normally this would be just enough to go over the top. How awesome is that? Such minimal filing for us as nail techs. You know, so this is dry now, it's quite shiny. So I'm just going to go in and take that bump out. You could use your electric file for this if you want to. There's no need because it's super fine. Look, there's the bump. Where's the bump? The bump has gone. Okay, so just these files are really good too, because they remind us how it is to file when we were learning. You know, we basically have to file with purpose again, and I love that. A lot of nail technicians just too busy talking, and and then next thing you know, you've lost your file technique. Okay, so I just coming up the sides, over the edge. I just want to check my structure. So we want this just there. Just angle the file down at the free edge so you don't end up with Humpty-Doo. And then come in with our Goldie block. Oh, hi. And that's quite comfortable for the client because it's very soft. There's not a lot of vibration. And it's really easy, comfortable for her. And it's really easy for the nail technician who hardly has any filing. You gotta love that too. Okay, so you can see, let's give it a dust, that when we look at this nail now, we have a nice arch bringing up to the point, straight out. This nail now is not too thick. Just go down the barrel. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And it's good to go. So I'm gonna top coat this nail now. I don't have the top coat on the table, so we'll be doing that in a moment after the video finishes. So do make sure that you finish your service with love. And as always, I'd really love it to see your work. Can you hashtag Cuccio Australia, hashtag powder polish, and maybe you'll get to see your work on the on our Instagram or Facebook pages. So I hope that helps you. If you've got any questions, hit me up with a like below, and I'll see you next week. Mwah, lots of love.